So there's been a huge upset in the Diablo 4 universe, and that is that a Barbarian actually got into the top 10 for the race for 100 in hardcore, and it was me, actually rank 1 Barbarian, but rank 7 overall. And that was as a solo player, not to like toot my own horn or anything like that, but anyways, the point of this video, it's not just for me to brag, but I actually want to share the build that I used to get to level 100, because it's a variation on one that I theory crafted before the season started, and this is a lot of fun. This was a seriously fun spec to use. It was really powerful, had a really nice active play style, and it made use of some of the new stuff in the season. And honestly, I tried to switch away from it to Whirlwind. It didn't feel as good. So it's crazy. I know. I actually didn't go Whirlwind, which is, I think, going to shock and upset a lot of people. But yeah, this build was that good. So let's take a little look at what it was. So I'm going to quickly open up the skill tree here, if I can remember the button. You have to bear with me. I just come off a 24-hour stream. I just had a shower. I'm a little bit fresh, but I am knackered otherwise. But there will be a build planner in the description so you can see the written version of this, but it's a pretty generic walking arsenal build with a few itty-bitty changes. One is that we're using Violent Upheaval because we're going to be targeting Berserk uptime, right? So we've got this gives us Berserking. Look at the ranks on that, 15. That is some sexy stuff. We have got, we got the full suite here, Tactical Ground Stomp, Tactical Iron Skin. We have the Berserking passives, very important. Now, here's something that you may want to change if you're a softcore player. I was rushing, pushing pretty high tier content with crap gear, so I needed defensive stance to stay alive. You can absolutely put that into brute force if you want to do more damage, or if you can, more concerned about staying alive, keep that there. That's a very good place to have points. It's not a bad passive whatsoever. We've got Warrior's Death Blow, so we've got double Berserking. And then we have Unconstrained, which allows us to, first of all, have a cap of up to 10 seconds of Berserking, but also increases the base multiplicative damage bonus from it as well. And that's kind of like the key focus and difference of this sort of walking arsenal build, is that it's not actually walking arsenal, it's like full Berserking. So this worked really, really well for me. The Berserk uptime gave me more movement speed, more resource generation through Prolific Fury, more defensive through aggressive resistance. It just worked really, really, really well. And yeah, the rest of that is pretty generic stuff. This is actually the same Paragon board that I use for my Upheaval Overpower Walking Arsenal build, so no changes here. If the keen of you, like the keen eyes of you, or those of you with keen eyes, man, my mouth doesn't work right now, may notice I have a couple of extra nodes here that I don't usually have in my Paragon trees, but again, pushing with bad gear, I had to go for the extra tankiness. Don't worry about this. The Paragon boards in the actual written guide are what I would recommend. Now, let's have a look at those let's have a look at those vampiric powers now. And we have Pray the Weak, a Curse Touch combo. This allows us to curse enemies and then make those enemies vulnerable. This works very consistently with this build. Actually, it goes off all the time. Basically, bosses stay perma vulnerable if you have this combo. And these spirits that you release when you cast a defensive, these will shred a boss to pieces. They actually hit giga hard, so this was really fun to use. We've got Hemomancy, probably going to be the new Barber of the season. This thing is like busted. It will just clean a room out of like anything that's not elite. It does so much damage, and it heals you a bunch too. Sanguine Brace is really good. This works as advertised. And then I have Blood Boil here for the guaranteed overpower every 30 seconds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but this build has quite a few sort of sources of overpower, and when you add it all together, it does result in some pretty consistent overpowers, and man, do they hit hard. Then for the gear, now again, leveling gear, the stat priorities on here is a bit of a mess, but again, refer to the sheet for best and slot stats, but pretty much generic principles apply here. You want cooldown reduction, max health here, double damage reduction on these two pieces, movement speed on there, attack stuff on the gloves, and then attack stuff on the rings with max life, and then a passive with some utility movement speed for leveling, armor, stuff like that. Mine's double movement speed but has counter offensive. I've had this one, I got a level 56. You can see I just kind of stuck with this for a very long time because I was racing. But the stat sheet in the guide will have everything for you, but I want to go over the most important things here. First of all, You have to have Iron Warrior with this build. It's in the codex, so you can go get it, pick it up, and then have it an unlimited amount of times. Weapons Master, absolutely a must-have, otherwise the build can be feeling very clunky if you don't hit the reset on your Death Blow. Berserk Fury, this is basically the only way that you're generating Fury, so if you do not have this, then you're going to have to switch from Warriors Death Blow to Fighters, the one that gives you Fury back. And that's fine, that absolutely works, but if you're going to want to get this for the end game. And then Earth Strikers, this is huge. Again, in the codex, this will allow you to get very consistent overpowers, and overpowers are hitting really hard this season. Hell of a lot of fun. And I was super duper lucky to get a Hellhammer. Now you can use either a Hellhammer or an Overkill if you're lucky to get either or neither of them, but if you can get one of these, my god, the damage. This thing was hitting real hard with upheavals, like really hard. Those extra ranks were being put to work. It was hilarious. Some of my overpowers are hitting for like 1.6, 1.8 mil. Bearing in mind, like, my itemization is absolutely toilet tier. So I was very impressed with just how smoothly we leveled with this. And, if you're still not convinced, you can take a look at the leaderboards here and see how, like, there's not a single Barbarian even remotely close to my level. Like, just nobody could keep up. This thing absolutely, or this build just absolutely tore through the levels. And it was a real pleasure to play, actually. Honestly, I just really did enjoy playing it. And I highly recommend that if you're still leveling, to give it a go, because it's something that you can transition into. You don't need the uniques. The aspects you will do. But again, if you don't have Berserk Fury, then you can just go ahead and use Fighters Death Blow instead for your regen, and the rest of it you can get from the codex. So it's something that you can play as soon as you go get these codex powers. And yeah, well, that's it. That's the build. I better get off. I got to get to bed. It's like almost 6 a.m. now. But again, just a huge thank you to everybody who was in the stream, was supporting me, and just sort of cheering me on as I dragged myself over those last couple of hours. It started to get tough. I wavered a little bit. I almost died a whole bunch of times. But we did. We finally got it. Man, I can't believe it. Rank 1. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.